Welcome back. This is Will at Work. I'm Kevin. Today we're looking at the Intellivison Flashback classic game console. This is the collector's edition with 60 built-in games. Now, what happened, I guess, was the people that make the Flashback game consoles, they decided to make a couple of additional ones of other 8-bit systems that came out, in the same generation of Atari 2600. Their main thing, of course, has been the 2600 series. They released 10 flashbacks, not including the joysticks and HDMI dongle units and that sort of thing. So the Atari focus has primarily been the thing. We also looked at a sort of a Legends hits that they came out with, which was also sort of a little console of sort of a mixed selection of different games from the arcade and 2600 era and all that sort of thing. But this one is focused on the Intellivision. I don't recall. I know that one of these, I don't know if it's the Intellivision one or the ColecoVision one or the Atari one, but one of them was sold at Dollar General, and if you have the Dollar General one, you also get an extra game. Not a big deal, but just one of those things that, stores have that, have a little bit collectors. So this one has been opened, and it's supposed to be complete. So we will check it out, make sure it works, and everything is included. Let's take a look inside. We have some aftermarket bubble wrap put there for shipping. Let's remove that. Got here. These are the people that sold it to me, I suppose. Now we have overlays that they made for the unit, which is really nice. These are, when you buy Intellivision games, these tend to be rare and pretty worn. They were made out of this kind of plastic, or very similar to, and you would push on these things on the number pad, with these controllers here, right? You would slide these in typically from the top, and you would push on these, and they tend to get crinkled and beat up over time, especially when you try to remove them, this lip up here, so then you're doing this kind of thing to get it out, or you're bending it, pushing it forward. So, they tear, but they're actually fairly durable. It's just that people would lose them. You pop in a different game, you forget about the overlay, you take the overlay out, you throw it to the side, mom gets it with the vacuum cleaner, it's gone. Utopia, Space Ox. So they came with 2 sets for each game that needed them. Of course, you can play any of the games without these once you memorize which each of the buttons do, so they're not necessarily required. Put that Night Stalker and baseball together here. There we go. Word Fun and Crown of Kings. So that looks like all of them. And they didn't include them for each game, but to be honest, I don't recall that every game came with overlays. It was rare that my family got a Intellivision 2 when we lived with our mother in California in the summertime. My regular family didn't, I don't know, they believe in video games or something. I couldn't afford them anyway, but, even when I had, with my mom, I don't recall ever buying a game. She bought the ones that we got for the system, and that, at which point, was like the video game crash. And they were no longer available. You couldn't find them in any stores anymore. That maybe you go to a catalog or something, but that was just not something we were going to do. She would have said no anyway. She never had any money for anything, according to her, but whatever. So we got the instructions. So it's AtGames, which is the people that make it. And I don't know if there's a date on here. 2014. So this was made about, well, it's 2021 now, so right? So about 6 years ago. It's terrible math. 7 years ago. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Got the unit. They got the little wood grain. Made it kind of look like the original Intellivision. We've looked at that here on the series so far. We have 2 controllers, reset, and a power. You feel okay. This feels extremely light. Like there is literally nothing inside of it. That's how it feels. Got your standard composite leads, and that kind of shows you how dated this is at this point, because it's lots of people have TVs that can take a composite still, but we have really moved on in the last few years to HDMI, and selling anything with a composite lead is just no longer really, you know, don't expect people to be able to use it. Nor will I have a good picture and everything versus an HDMI, so just go HDMI. So we have our power adapter, a couple of controllers. I don't even think I'm going to need the second controller, so I'll leave that in. So what I'm going to do is I'll set up the unit, put it onto the video encoder, and then we will see what games we have and how well they play with the emulation that we've been given. Okay, here we go.